when I was putting together my new projects, the saga kept knocking. And I kept saying to myself, I don't know if I can do it. And my wife said to me, well, which one scares you? And I said, Martyrs. It scares me. Because of how much hurt I'd gone through, because, I had 2 films fall apart. I owed it to these brilliant actors to, painting for them. And I felt like I failed.
With all the work that went on behind the scenes, it was like, okay, you have to put in the work, like hardcore, I cried some days. I did, but it was all worth it.
I said that I would change the game when I put her and Richard in the same frame together. And I can gladly say that I was right.
The challenge was like within myself, because Lupita had started to unlock a lot of things actually about myself. It made me realize a lot of things about Angela and her capabilities that I knew were always there.
There's nothing that alleviates an economy more than a film industry. Ask the Mexicans, ask the Koreans, ask all of those people. It is the one industry that benefits from a depreciating currency. And it is the one industry that saved people's lives during the lockdown.
Welcome to Color Space Podcast. My name is Cyril Zuma. This is a special podcast. And I'm looking at the camera because I'm kind of shy of these guys that are here. They bring the lights onto me. But these are very important guests that we've got onto the episode today. I've got the director and I've got the lead actor for a really amazing film called Martyrs, right?
Martyrs.
Martyrs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Just please say it again. Is it in Afrikaans the way you say it, or is it normally just...
So Martyrs is probably more akin to Back to the Future.
Okay.
Marty McFly. Martyrs is like, somebody who essentially would dedicate their life to, sort of saving people, being a hero, to dedicate themselves to a cause. So as you had heard, like martyrdom, this is Martyrs. So it's, yeah.
Okay, I love that. I mean, I was so curious about the name in general, that it brought so much questions. So let's talk about the Martyrs, the film. Like, where does it originate from? And let me ask you, Angela. In fact, let's start with an introduction first. Please introduce yourself, who you are. I mean, some people will know you and I know a little bit about you, but I feel like our resumes sometimes that we have don't fully describe who you are, and I feel like you could do that right now. So please introduce yourself and then tell us, where does the name Martyrs originate from?
Okay, firstly, he will be able to answer that question for you. Okay. And I'll introduce myself.
Okay.
Allow me to introduce.
Yeah, well. My name is Angela Sithole. I'm an actress, a global actress, because if I say South African actress.
I'm with him on that.
Yeah. And I've been in the industry now for about 12 years and going strong. And I'm excited to be a part of this journey with Waleed.
Okay, so before I get to Waleed in the introduction, you play the detective.
Yes.
And your name is Lupita, right?
Lupita, yeah.
Like, did you have to go to training for this? Did you actually boxing or kind of stuff?
Yes. A whole lot of training.
What kind of training goes on into that? Because I mean, I can only imagine from seeing the trailer, looks like you're kicking some butt there.
The thing is, it was all in my head. Like, I've always known that I was capable of such. But as actors, we also need to remember that there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, training. So I did a whole lot of fitness, weapon training as well, which was very exciting for me.
Okay.
This is something that I've always wanted to do. Like I said, as an actor, it's always good to have those skills in your bag.
Yeah.
Get some weapon training in, some, fight choreography here and there. So that was the training that I
can't wait to see the film, just because of the action that I saw in there. Really amazing. But I'm going to get to you because there's so many questions I want to ask you, especially about this new drug that you are investigating, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'll come back to you now. Waleed, please introduce yourself. And as Angela said, please tell us what this film, where did it originate from in general.
So, look, my name is Waleed Al-Yamani.
We can't go past that surname. That's one of the things I wanted to hear. Those were one of the things I wanted to hear, your surname.
Oh, Waleed Al-Yamani.
Okay.
Yeah. So, long story behind that. Maybe we'll do that in a follow-up podcast.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think that I want to touch on something that Angela mentioned, because even the teaser trailer that we've put out, you haven't seen anything yet from Angela Sithole. The amount of work that she put into this, she completely floored me. I always knew that she was the only person that could play this character.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about this character for 5 years. So to tell you a little bit about how this project came about. So Martyrs is a film series. And in fact, there's 7 episodes. We've completed the pilot for these first season. But ultimately, we started talking about this character when we had written the first film, which the series culminates into.
Okay.
So every season of this show culminates into an actual film.
Okay, so should we watch the previous to get an understanding of this?
So the previous doesn't exist. This is the first.
Okay.
Right. So the reason why this is the first was because when we wrote that first film, which was called The Last Days of Hope,
yes,
the first calls I made was to Angela and Richard, because I wanted them to play these characters. I dreamed up these characters for a long time.
Richard, who plays Rian, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. And I dreamt up these characters over the course of what could, be 20 years. I first started writing this whole saga really as a short film. And I always wondered who these people would be. They lived in my head for such a long time. And when I met both Richard and Angela, there was no question that it was them.
Yeah.
And so when I was afforded the opportunity to actually put these characters in something that would bring them to life, I wrote a film called The Last Days of Hope, which is a bombastic film. I can't really do small, and they don't deserve small.
For
Let's
sure,
just put it that way.
That's right.
We started writing in November 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were ready to go in January. That's when I first started making my calls of 2020. And we had put together budgets. At the time, Eric Mohale had his Iniri Pictures, and he was one of the only people that really believed in us. And he knew that we were creating a global precedent based in Africa with what we were doing. This was our Star Wars. And he was our John Laddie. He was that person that believed in us. And really, it was something very special to me. And he was a huge champion of Angela. He also knew that what she was capable of. We had this shared vision. And so we started prepping, we started casting, we started doing location scouts, costumes were being built. And then March 2020 happened. And we all know what happened there, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember they announced it. I remember walking in, I had just done a call with one of the actors, and I walked in and saw the address by the president. And I said to Melissa, the producer, and my wife as well, I was like, what's going on? And they're like, we're going into a lockdown. And I was like, for how long?
Yeah.
They're like, 3 weeks. And I was like, 3 weeks of polish. I can just do the script.
Of course, work in the back end.
I can do rehearsals with the actors. And I started plotting them out. And Angela and myself were doing calls throughout those 3 weeks. I remember I still told you to fix a washing machine during that time.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yes, I remember.
So she was like, what prep can I do? And I was like, find something that's broken that can't be fixed and fix that. And she was like, cool, there's a washing machine.
Oh, wow.
I'm on it. And she started. And I mean, this is what I'm saying. This is the caliber of actor you're dealing with. Someone who's not afraid to roll up the sleeves and get into it. And little did I know, because, after the film fell apart because of COVID, I then went into a prequel for the film, which then I wrote another film in the saga. And that fell apart.
Oh shucks! Okay, so this is a journey, right?
This is a journey.
Okay.
And I'll never forget. I was sitting at a dinner, and Melissa, my producer and wife, said to me, "Hey, listen, maybe we should do a little something smaller." And I said, "I just can't do small." And then I helped out on another picture for a fellow director, and this film, Verified, popped into my head from start to finish. And it was a chamber film that had all this sort of ambitious qualities to it, right?
Yeah.
And Richard was the person that I wanted to play the lead in that. And it was so funny because Melissa said to me, well, who do you want to play his sister? And I was like, it has to be Angela. And she was like, Angela is an actor that has to be seen. That's just who she is.
It has to be a big film.
Yeah, she deserves it, right?
Yeah.
She deserves this canvas.
Yeah.
And I went, okay. And I went all around, like all the other actresses, like speaking to them. And then it just never fit. It just never worked.
Yeah.
And then I remember we were having brunch with Angela, and I just said to her, I was like, hey, listen, this was always meant to be yours. And she was doing, you just came off of something. I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember what I was shooting at that time.
Yeah. I remember we were on, funny enough, we were on the rehearsal set for Smart Casuals.
I've heard of Smart Casuals. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's a film that's currently on it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Zoe's the director.
Zoe's the director, yeah.
Okay.
And I remember because I was helping out with something and they're doing some consulting, and I said to Angela, like, look, this is where I'm at. We can kind of just do the performance here, because it was a purely vocal performance.
Mm-hmm.
And she came in and she smashed it in an hour.
Jeez.
In an hour. And I can't tell you, like, I sat there in awe of her.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is crazy. I went back to Richard and I was like, listen to this. I showed him a scene. And they never acted together in the same scene together. And he went, it's as if she was in the room with me.
Oh, wow.
As if she was in my head. And you watch that film and they feel like brother and sister. And they're the heart of that film.
And so they both play detective, right? Yourself and Richard.
So just to fast forward a little bit for you, when I was putting together my new projects, this saga kept knocking. And I kept saying to myself, I don't know if I can do it. And my wife said to me, well, which one scares you? And I said, Martyrs. It scares me. Because of how much hurt I've gone through, because, I had 2 films fall apart. I owed it to these brilliant actors to, painting for them.
Yeah.
And I felt like I failed. And my wife said to me, what do you think is the key to getting this done? I said, to be honest, it's Angela. And she said, how did you come about that? And I said, I've been thinking about it for a long time. It's been 5 years since we were supposed to do those films. And I said, I need to call her. She goes, go and call her and see what happens. So I called her. And I don't know if you want to tell this story.
No, you can carry on. You tell it better.
So I call her and I'm like, hey, how's my favorite? Because I've always said to her, like, you're my favorite actor.
Yeah.
And she goes, I'm good. What's up? And I know with the twinkle in her voice, she knows what I'm calling about already. And I said, I think I'm ready. And she goes, ready for what? And I can hear her smiling on the phone. And I said, I think I'm ready to go back and bring Lupita to life. And she's like, it's about goddamn time.
I was like so ready.
Yeah.
I thought I was ready.
Yeah.
I thought I was, but I wasn't until I had to go through like all the training and stuff. And that made me also realize that, when I sit at home and I watch all of these action films and stuff, it's something that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And watching it in my mind, I think, I can do this. Like, this is easy peasy, right? But with all the work that went on behind the scenes, it was like, okay, you have to put in the work.
For sure.
Hardcore, I cried some days. I did, but it was all worth it.
I mean, it seems like, and I don't want to cut the story short because, there's a journey to this, right, which you've just explained. But it seems like you guys have a chemistry of recording and you're in front of the camera or just in general being creative. Mm-hmm. How was it working in the film together in general? Since you've worked on some little projects in the beginning.
Yeah, big projects.
Yeah, big projects. Let me put it.
Yes.
You said the projects didn't work out. Or did they work out?
So look, those first 3 films didn't work out.
Okay.
Verified did.
Okay,
it ultimately became my directorial debut. Mm-hmm. And I was so lucky to have both Rich and Angela in that film. Mm-hmm. And I've said to her, like, I owe you my career.
Mm-hmm. I want to watch Verified, by the way, because I feel like when I read, all I read about is actually, it feels like it's almost like a prequel to this, or you might get some things from just the relationship you guys have. Is that so?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
But I like to joke that it's part of the Way universe.
Okay.
The Waleed Al-Yamani universe, a little bit.
Okay.
And I guess only time will prove me right.
Fair.
But I think that just to come back to what Angela said, Cyril, dude. You've seen nothing yet, man.
I can't wait.
Dude, can I tell you something?
Please do.
Can I tell you something? Yeah. So we're doing 5 rehearsals, right?
5?
5 rehearsals.
Okay. Mm-hmm. 5 rehearsals, yeah.
So she's gone through strength training with Laura from CrossFit Vita And I'm talking about intense sessions that I would watch her and I would be like, I don't know how you're doing this. And she would just dig deep, right? We're doing...
I don't know how I did it. I don't know.
We're doing gun training with Daryl Larson from Southern Sky, right? He's like one of the best in the business.
Yeah.
And she is just like picking it up like this. And I'm just like, I'm so glad I was right. And I'm just watching this and I'm making my notes, but she goes into fight training, right?
Mm.
And we're doing a rehearsal. And I never like to put my actors through anything that I wouldn't put myself through.
Sure.
So I elected
That's a good director.
Right.
That was the camera. That is a good director. We need more directors like him. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Shout out.
Great to be blessed.
Shout out.
You're texting the mail. So the point being is that like we start, right? And it's the sequence and we worked on it 3 days. We worked on it for a couple of weeks and now it was all coming together.
Yeah.
So at one point I put her in the room and I said to her, okay, Angela, put your spin on it. I'll be back in 15 minutes. And I come back in 15 minutes and she does this entire sequence that she has made up. And I'm just like, holy crap, man. I don't know if I can curse.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, but I'll try not to.
Yeah.
I'll try and be a nice boy. But I was like, holy crap. And I watched it do the sequence and I was like, okay, cool. Let's do a couple of things here and there.
Yeah.
And then I had to obviously step into the scene with her. And I said, okay, you're comfortable with me kind of running the scene with you.
Yeah.
And I've never been with someone where this is the type of person that I am. I love film. I'm obsessed by it.
Mm.
Like she knows when I'm on set, I'm in my happy place. I'm at home. It's when my inner child can just play and I will die with the camera in my hands. And oftentimes I'm the person that I'll keep going and everybody will be like, dude, can we wrap? And I'm just like, I'll do this for 4 days straight.
Yeah.
You know, until I keel over.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that wowed me about Angela. We're doing this fight rehearsal and I'm in it with it and she nails it. I'm talking about nails it. I'm talking about perfection.
Yeah.
Remember, this is rehearsal.
Yeah.
We've got to do this 3 days from now. So I'm trying to conserve energy because I know that she's got reserves.
Sure.
Right? This is Angela Sithole we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is Floyd Mayweather of acting.
So when you're like, let me step back a little.
So I'm just like, let's dial it down. And she does not have a gear for slow. Let me tell you this. I'd be like, Angela, slow it down. She's like, cool. Goes even faster the next one, right? And
I just want to go.
so she goes and she gets it perfect. And I go, cool. Save it, lock it. The morale is high. She goes, let's go again. And I go,
Sure.
okay, cool. And we go again. And she goes, let's go again. And we go again. I'm not kidding you.
Sure.
She did it. I'm not exaggerating. She probably did it 25 times.
Yeah.
And then she arrives on set 2 days later and goes, my knees are a bit gangly. And I go, yeah, because you were like rolling this fight sequence constantly.
Yeah.
And then she did all of her action. There was no stunt woman on set.
Oh.
Not to say that I don't like stunt people. I love stunt people. But Angela did all of her own action. And she did it with like a 45 kilogram real weighted bulletproof vest on.
Jeez.
She never took it off from the top.
So those things are not like, baby weights or something in there.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
she never took it off from the start of our 12-hour shoot day. And we started shooting at 6 and we wrapped at 6 the next morning.
Jeez.
And she
Yeah.
never took it off.
I
You
mean,
did put on Crocs at some point.
Yeah, I had to.
That was a great look for Lupita.
I had to get them Crocs on, yeah. But I needed it. And also, because remember while we were rehearsing, there was a point where you did say, oh, I want to have the vest on. Then I said, oh, it would have been nice to actually rehearse with the vest on.
Episode 2.
Yeah. Good. So, but, like on set, I said, even if we take a break, I don't want to take it off.
yeah.
I want to get used to the weight on my body
Yeah.
so that it's easier for me to,
During the scenes themselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let me ask you this. And what was the most difficult thing in general on the set? And it could have been, maybe it's the fighting scene. It could have been waking up. What was like one of the things where it was kind of difficult for you?
Like waking up in the morning.
Yeah, I'm even waking up in the morning after doing 25 fight scenes the day before.
Yeah, waking up was definitely tough.
Okay.
But I must say it was, the fight scenes, that was challenging. But I think more than anything, the challenge was like within myself because Lupita had started to unlock a lot of things actually about myself. It made me realize a lot of things about Angela and her capabilities that I knew were always there.
Love that.
They were always there.
Yeah.
But he would say that sometimes I like to downplay myself just to suit others or to make others feel comfortable.
Yeah, you're a wildcat.
Yeah.
It's I've always said, it's like when Angela Sithole walks on set, it's like a panther strolling through the set. And everybody kind of goes unnoticed a little bit.
I don't see that.
And the thing is that, but she's such a consummate professional and such a kind, generous actor that she will see where you're playing and she will accommodate herself. And for this role, I was like, I want a full-throated performance from you, Angela. I don't want you to hold back. I want you to discover all of those gears that you shy away from because you feel like it'll make other people feel inadequate.
Yes.
And as like you're the lead, you've got to lead. So everybody else is going to go by your speed. And I can tell you this, when everybody saw what Angela Sithole was bringing to the table, everybody started upping their game. Everybody started going, oh, okay, that's what we're doing?
Yeah.
Let's go. And it was beautiful to see. It was beautiful to see her come into herself. She didn't have to become Lupita. She always was Lupita. Lupita is the way I dreamed it. Even better.
Even better.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you come up with the name or the character Lupita in general, and then casting Angela Sithole, who's obviously got a vast acting career behind and many other skills?
But nothing like this.
Nothing like this. Also, I was about to ask.
This,
I mean, from the previous work I've seen, I've never seen a lot of fighting scenes like that's going on there. And the short clips I'm seeing, you're breathing heavy. I'm like, it's going down here, my boy.
It's a completely different. It's completely different to all the characters I've played before, and I'm grateful for all the characters I've played over the years. Don't get me wrong. But this is something different, and this is something that I've been yearning for. Like, it's something that I wanted. I wanted change. I wanted something more challenging. And like I said, with Lupita, it opened those doors. It unlocked so many things. I'm like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I need. And the funny thing is, I worked with there's a director that I worked with called, his name is Ria. I worked with him on a few projects actually, and one of them being Diamond City. And he also back then saw my potential, and he watched me play all these other characters, after Diamond City. And when he saw me going into training for Martyrs, he was like, that's what I'm talking about. He's like, finally, you actually see what I'm seeing. And I was like, no.
So, I mean, clearly Waleed is not the only one who saw you in this role here. And you obviously saying you found some things about yourself in this role as Lupita. Can you share some of the things that you uncovered about the role? I mean, and also now Ria also said, this is the role for you. What did you uncover from there about yourself in general? What did you learn?
Like I said, it's my capabilities. Right? And just also, I realized how brave I am. Lupita showed that in me. I realized how brave I am and resilient, and I am a go-getter. I tend to have self-doubt, and that's what kind of pushes me back down a lot. But with Lupita, she helped me, and Waleed as well played a huge role in that. So what would you want people to take out of this film when watching your role out of there? Having described it for you, you learn a few things about yourself, but what would you like the viewer to see and learn about Lupita? To be honest, I think I want people to take what they can take. It's like looking at an art piece. Everyone has their own perspective. Everyone learns their own thing from what they see. So I can't really specify and say that this is what I want people to take from my character. I think it's for them to see and decide. I love that. And then let me come to you then as the director of this. I mean, you've got amazing actors. You've got everything going for you right now. Angela's dedicated. She's putting in extra work all the time.
what does it take for you to produce this film in general, outside of maybe perhaps not having a budget, if you don't even have a budget, maybe not outside of having some, just by yourself, coming up with this film, executing this film when you by yourself, what does it take for you in general? Is it long hours? Is it shooting, scripting? What is it that gets involved to cast such amazing actors and actresses?
Thank you.
I think that the most important thing to recognize is I haven't done it by myself.
Yeah.
We've made this together. I couldn't have done it without Angela, couldn't have done it without Richard, without Craig, without Lupita, with Chandler, with Mac. Like, the crew that I've had is incredible. And they inspire me every day, like with everything that they do and the people that they've become. And I think that the thing that compels me the most is love. I love all of them. We had the cast together on the 12th of December, 2025. And I'll never forget that feeling, because we had 12 pages to shoot in 4 hours with 6 actors. And we gunned it, man. And they were so spectacular. And I remember I stood there, I said goodbye to Angela, I gave her a little bow.
Yeah.
And she was like, we have still more to shoot. And I was like, yeah, we do. We will. And I know that that's a promise I made to you, and we will. Because we love these characters, but more so than anything, I love these actors that played these characters. And it's love that compels me. When I'm in the editing bay and I've got to live up to the work that they've put in, and it really is the work that they've put in. Because Cyril, at the end of the day, a director is discovered through his work. Mm-hmm. An actor is discovered by their work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's Angela and Richard's series.
Yeah.
I'm the name at the end. That's it.
And the credits.
And the thing is that the game that the audience has to play with me is that it's over the series of work that I will do with these magnificent people that they will discover who I am. But it's these brave individuals who put it all on the line. Who put it all on the line.
Fair.
In every frame.
Yeah.
Every single frame. And you know, they say that cinema is truth 24 frames per second. 24 times a second. These guys have to make sure that they're truthful, they're authentic. And this is what they did. And I watched them over and over and over. And I just said to Angela, just before we came into this podcast, I find myself sitting as an audience member most of the time, not even cutting. I'm like, oh, I've got to be editing this thing. Oh, I'm sorry, because I'm just sitting there like, you know, I'm like, at last, it's playing in my head. And it's because, like, I'm like, my goodness, look at them. And I can't wait for the audience to have that exact same experience. And I can tell you this much as Angela said that it is looking at a work of art, and it is. People are going to fall in love with these characters, man, because I have. Mm-hmm. And it's just because of what Angela and Richard and everybody have brought to it. And, you know, it's just such a special blessing to be part of this. For having dreamed this for so long, when you see these characters, I'm like a kid, man. Like, I'm just like, I get to do this. I always have this feeling whenever I work with this cast. I hit record, and then I hit stop. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what I did in between. But I know what they did.
But you know you recorded and you hit stop.
Yeah. And then most times I'm like, I hope I didn't record that one time. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I didn't record that one time. They'll hold it against me. But this is one time I didn't record. But I hit record, and I think we should talk about that moment, because I think it was a really special moment. And it's just like I fall into this like euphoria, and then I hit stop, and the day's ended. Yeah. And I'm like, I hope I got something. Right? And then I get into the editing bay, and I'm just like, okay, amazing, it's there. And it's amazing. Yeah. And I'm like, who shot this? This is great. and there was this one moment, it was her first day. And we started slow, and I said to her that, like, we're going to do something really special here. So we started off in Lupita's home as the episode opens up, as you'll see in the episode. And Angela did some really interesting things, which I think shook up a lot of people on set that day. And she didn't have any dialogue. She was just being Angela Sithole.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She was being the panther that she is. And she was just walking around sets and everybody was getting very nervous. And I had a big smile on my face because I was finally getting to do what I said I would do.
Yeah.
Mm.
I said that I would change the game when I put her and Richard in the same frame together. And I can gladly say that I was right. The game has changed.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. From that little opening sequence, we have a sequence where Lupita walks through a nightclub.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a very specific type of nightclub in mind. I think you had the very same sort of feeling in
Yes,
mind, right?
yeah.
So when she arrived on set, she was like, this is the place I dreamed.
That's how I envisioned it to be,
Wow.
like on the script. When I
Yeah.
was reading the script, that's exactly what I had in mind. And he got the exact, like the perfect place for that scene. And I was like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. Guys, Waleed is amazing. Oh,
Thank you. But
I'm not gonna lie.
tell them what we did. Actually, you have to tell them what we did.
Which part?
So,
The way you didn't record.
So, this class. I'll never live it down, but it's fine. So look, my whole thing was, I knew that who she was. I knew who Angela was. And I knew in order to kind of unlock all of these places of power for her, I needed to put her in an environment which wasn't a set.
Yeah.
So the nightclub wasn't a set.
Okay.
It
Can I
was a
tell-
nightclub.
It
Oh, it was a proper
No
night.
extras.
yeah, like people, it was when did we shoot on a Friday night?
We shot on Friday night.
Friday
Christmas
night. Do you understand? People knocked off from work, going to have a drink. They didn't know that they were going to be a part of a movie. They didn't know it themselves.
That they were going to be
Like,
part of the
they
movie.
didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
When I arrived, I thought, okay, we're going to be like using a certain section
Sure.
for us to shoot. No. During the people, like we are, and I'm walking past, and he's like, action, go. I'm like, Waleed, there's people, like, what are we? He's like, no, let's go.
and you just
And I did it.
Yeah.
And that was also so amazing. Like, I've never done something like that before.
I can't
Ever.
wait to see that scene now because the way you just described it, and this is what I love about speaking to people that work on things. Because when I go and look at it, I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
she did not train for this. They just threw her in there and look at the work she's doing. So shout out for you actually going in and doing your work in there. And this podcast in general, when I speak to people like this, I like to give them their congratulations. I haven't seen the film, the series rather. I've seen snippets of it quite a lot, and I'm super excited. I love South African films or South African produced films in general.
You know, can
with a
I say,
global feel. Yeah.
Can I just say that I feel like it's something that is so refreshing for I'll say the world, yes, but I'm saying for South Africa also specifically. Like,
Yeah.
it's so refreshing. It's so, I think it's also what we really need.
I was about to ask, because I mean, from a viewer's perspective, and I also hold cameras, I also have a bit of like, a bias here and there. People will say there's not that many South African great films that we can look at or series they can be like just glued on. And I can name a few, but this is not the place for it. But how intentional were you guys in making sure that the South African audience, number one, has a relatability to the series?
You know what? Here's the thing about South African audiences. South African audiences are not different from any global audience. You know, all we do, and the reason that we love what we do is because it's about emotional transference. And I think that if you're authentically committing in order to make sure that somebody feels something, you're making global cinema, whether you make it in South Africa or not. And as you can see, I mean, you know, you've got Hollywood mucky mucks who, you know, come here with $29 million and leave with $28 million. You know, and they know our crews are amazing. They know our talent is amazing. They know our locales are amazing. And the thing is that I think a lot of times we get stuck in this like local versus international discussion. And the problem is I think it's also we define Hollywood as being international.
Yeah.
And we can see that the Hollywood system is dying on the vine. It really is. You know, a lot of people are like, you know, with the march of AI, with the way that, you know, sort of YouTube is challenging the way in which, you know, sort of cinema is being, you know, sort of consumed.
Yeah.
That, you know, Hollywood is panicking. But global cinema is on the rise. Indonesian cinema is not going anywhere. Indian cinema is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
African cinema is not going anywhere. Norwegian cinema is not going anywhere. Korean cinema is huge. You know,
Jeez.
and the thing is that what we want to do with Martyrs is that we wanted to take our place. We wanted to create this global precedent that's based in Africa and stays in Africa. We're not interested. Look, we have a global story.
Yeah.
We've got these amazing local actors who just happen to be from South Africa, but they're global stars, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can say this to you, and I'm going to tell you this much. Where we're going with this, you won't need roads. You see how I brought that back with the Martyrs thing, from Back to the Future?
Yeah.
No. So where we're going with this is season 2 opens up with Rian and Lupita tracking down this drug that you want to know so much about
Yes.
in
Actually.
Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
That's the season. That's season 2
That's
now.
season 2. That's how we open.
Oh no.
Please,
Okay.
show me.
Oh yes. Or not no, but oh yes.
But,
There's
but,
more.
but here's the thing.
Yeah.
They're Rian and Lupita, played by Angela Sithole and Richard Gao, and give us these 7 episodes of this first season and that first film. And I'm going to show you how much the game has been changed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you just what it looks like when you put a panther loose in a nightclub.
Underused.
Absolutely. And I'm going to show you what it looks like with the reintroduction of Angela Sithole, where we were filming that fight scene I told you about.
Yeah.
She had on that vest. We had a little discussion around the car. And I said, it's time.
Mm.
And all the prep and all the hard work that she had put in, I said to the crew, give her a minute. And when she comes back around, I want you to watch. And I brought my wife close by, who was taking photos, and I was like, you're going to want to see this. Until this day, she says, how did you know? And I was like, because I know Angela.
Yeah.
And I know the person that she is. And she came around that car with a shotgun. And my goodness, man, it was like buckshot to the chest. She came with a power that made the entire crew go quiet.
And he did a lot as well to help me get in, you know, to, like, he would say that, oh, it's already there, it already exists within you, but like there's a lot that he helped me with
Yeah.
to actually channel, you know, myself in the right way for those scenes, and especially for Lupita. So there's a lot of work that he did, which I'm really grateful for.
I just put a gun in your hands.
And a heavy vest or some
There
sort.
was a step-by-step, which I'm not going to say that's between Waleed and I, but it's our thing. But there was like a step-by-step thing that helped me really, really achieve, you know, what you saw. So
Sure,
far.
and there's more to come, which is interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
and you guys are, the season 2 that you're saying is obviously going to come at some point.
Yeah, it's all
but
written.
Love that.
Mm.
So, I mean, like I said, I've watched quite a few South African films and I'm going to go back to the South African just on purpose because I want the audience to understand that you guys were purposeful in obviously what you did. And we've seen films, and there's films that are still coming up now, or series where they cast perhaps people that are not from South Africa.
Yes.
And that sort of, you know, might play differently to different people. And I love how you guys, how intentional you were on taking this product and saying this is an international product and these are international actors too at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need somebody else from somewhere else to play a different role. You found the right person. How did you find Richard and Angela's chemistry working together? Is that something that you had to work on, and is it something for you that you also had to work on the end and working with Richard, or is something that you worked with him before?
I think with Richard and I, we found our way and we found our thing for us to gel and work together.
Had you worked together before?
No.
Okay,
This
I love
was
that.
the first project that I've worked on with Richard, and
Okay.
it's been amazing so far. I'm looking forward to being on set with him again when we go back to set.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we found our way, and certain things required patience, and but I'm safe to say that we're locked in.
Let me weigh in on this.
Yeah.
So when I met Richard, because I think that was part of your question as well, and how did I see him in this
Yes,
thing?
and just fitting in with Angela also.
So I had a production that essentially stalled because of an accident on set. So it was a production called Zian Hanali that starred Losha Cooper. I was producing it for a director. And it wasn't a particular accident on set. An actor essentially had to bow out of this particular production and needed to be replaced. And we started interviewing to replace this actor because we had to go reshoot 2 weeks of work.
Yeah.
And I remember I was sitting with the director in Hyde Park, and this specimen, like also specimen,
Yeah, right.
specimen came walking in wearing Clark Kent glasses, looking like a love child between Zac Efron and Henry Cavill. And I looked at him and I was just like, what is this person? And he sat down and we clicked immediately. And he is a film nerd and everything like that. And he had been in musical theater for a long time and he was making his first foray into film with this role. And he left and the director said to me, what do you think? And I was like, he's good. Like, because I'm always about attitude, not altitude. Yeah. I'm never looking for somebody who's like impressive in terms of other things. I'm always just looking at like, can you and I get along? Are we a good fit? Do we have chemistry? Do we have a good shorthand? All of these things. And that's what I found with Richard. And then
they're besties.
We're working on how. I'm going to make her bracelet.
I'm good.
So you besties with Richard at the moment?
So let me put it this way, right?
Yeah.
So that project ultimately fell apart because a lot of people had to go off and like Losha had to go do lockdown and all of these other things. That director went away for 6 days and came up with a script called Iron, which was a film that we shot in 3 days.
Sure.
A feature film we shot in 3 days. And he cast Richard as the big bad in that. And I'll never forget, he showed up in character. He was being very method because this was his first role in the movie. And he showed up in costume, fully decked out, in character, and he freaked everybody out as he was walking through because he was playing a human trafficker.
Oh.
And he had this very low, like, weird voice that he was doing. And I remember I was working on a prop at the time, like a little can of, like, energy drink, which I was trying to get, like, it to look a certain way. And he walked up to me, and he was like, hey. He's like, take a look at this. And he showed me a bunch of people tied up. And he's like, what do you think? And I burst out laughing. And I was like, your dark sense of humor is right there with my dark sense of humor. We're going to be friends. We're going to be good friends.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that set was very difficult because Danica and Richard were going hard, man. Like, 3-day shoots, and they were like, both of them were just like digging deep. And I remember I needed a breath of fresh air because my production assistant at that point said to me, can we please make a comedy next? He's like, I feel like we're really trafficking people. So anyway, I go outside. It's on like a Boyson Street. It's a cold winter's day. It's all rainy and things like that. It was one of those weird Joburg days where it rained in winter. And I was just standing out there dreaming. And out comes Richard, steam coming off of his body because of the intensity of what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he lit up a cigarette. And he stood there and he went, hey. And I went, hey, yourself. And he goes, what type of films do you want to make? And I was like, I would really love to make action films one day. And he went, huh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And fast forward, a couple of years, and I get the opportunity to really work with Angela. We did like a music video together. And Richard was, he was director of photography on that. Because we run a company called the People's Republic of Entertainment.
Okay, yeah.
And he was shooting Angela. And I told him about Angela. I said to him, like, listen, dude, like I put the two of you together in the same frame, it's game over. And he was like, cool. And then he watched it through the camera work. And he kept saying to me, he's like, dude, just put me in the scene. He's like, I don't care. I know I don't play any role.
Just give me something.
Because he was frothing at the bit because he has never been with another actor where he's gone, oh, like the continental shelf falls off and there are depths to you, you know?
Yeah.
And he was like, every time we would sit together after that music video, he was like, what's Angela doing? Tell me about Angela. When are we going to go back to like Rian and Lupita? Like, what are we doing? Like, call Angela right now. Let's talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, Angela's busy. She's busy doing like all of these big things. And I was just like, I don't know if you'd want to play with us. We're doing all of these other things. And then when we put this project together, he was like a giddy child, man. He was. And this is the thing. And I've talked a lot about Angela, but here's the thing with Richard. If Angela's a panther, Richard's is a wolf.
Hmm.
And the thing is that you put those two apex predators together in the same vehicle.
Yeah.
I've always just felt like Ricky Bobby from Talladega Nights, riding the car with the panther next to it.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I felt through this production, because I'm just like, okay, man,
You're just riding with
I
them.
gotta learn to run with the wolves and the wildcats, because this is what's up. And the two of them together has been so phenomenal. There's been so many times where I'm just about to roll, and off in the corner is Richard and Angela just giggling. They're just giggling. They've got their own joke going. The whole set, I'm like, what are they doing? What are they
Like, my
talking
thing
about?
is, if you get my sense of humor, then we're good.
Okay.
Like, we're good. We're good.
She's also got a dark sense of
Yeah.
A dark sense of humor,
That's
which
why
works for
the
you.
best bracelet is coming. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is it?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I'm making it out of macaroni.
Which bracelet is this one?
She said that me and Richard are besties. She doesn't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't know that she's also my bestie. Yeah.
I mean, look, so clearly you guys have got a connection, and also with Richard, who also plays the lead actor, right?
Yeah, so they're co-leads. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously the connection is really amazing, and that makes working so much easier for you guys. Let me ask you guys, which would you prefer? And I'm going to get back to the gravity of the film, because I feel like my audience needs to understand the gravity of what we're doing here. We're not just talking about an Instagram reel that went out. Yes, it's great work too, but we're talking about something that's going to be watched wherever you are in the world. You could literally watch this. So I'll get back to that now. And I just want to come to some quick fire questions.
Okay.
Which scenes would you rather prefer, the morning shoots or night shoots? And let me start with you, Angela.
I think night shoots.
Night shoots.
Yeah. And
Okay.
as much as like I will get tired, but I prefer night shoots.
I saw a lot of the night shots on there. Did you guys shoot on more night shots than
More nights.
Okay.
Yeah, it was more nights. More night shots. Yeah, I prefer nights.
Is it because
I'm
the
not a morning
drug?
person anyway.
Is it
so-
because the drug is also active around that time?
Yeah, probably.
And what's this drug, right? Somebody was asking me, like, because I told them I'm interviewing people that are coming here to talk about this drug, and it's an amazing series. Can you tell us what this drug is? Or is there a name for it?
Yeah, so the street name is called Blue Whale.
Ooh.
But it's based off a synthetic called Heat 116, which is ultimately used in military applications in order to get soldiers to fight faster, harder, and more intensive. And this drug has seen its way into conflict zones all across the world because violence fuels commerce, right? There's a little wink, wink, nudge.
Right?
But the idea here is that this drug has now found its way onto South African streets, and it's affecting everybody. And because Rian's character has been tracking this drug all across the world, he's essentially tracked it back down here, where he's bestie. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Lupita's his bestie? Yeah, Lupita's his bestie.
Okay.
Has been looking for him for 8 months.
To help
she's been
with this
looking
now.
for. She's been looking for Riyadh.
Okay.
Yeah.
To help with this new drug that's in
Because
the market.
She's got a sneaking suspicion that a body that she's just come upon, which she's just told to come and investigate, because she's a person that ultimately saves women and children from being trafficked. She comes upon this body and she's the expert on that, but she knows that something's fishy about it. She knows that this young lady has been drowned in Heat 116.
Yeah.
And that's what brings them together, and that's where all the trouble starts.
I'm not going to ask this question because I really want to, but then it might ruin the film.
No, go for it.
It's fine.
Go for it. Ask
Go
the
for it.
question
Ask the question.
so we can tell you we're not telling you.
Okay. Do you get rid of this drug?
Do you get?
Do you find the people that are dealing this drug? Do you get rid of it in the streets? What happens to the drug once you found it?
Oh, you have to continue watching.
Okay, that's why I was like.
I just wanted to say.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Okay. So let's come back to you. Do you prefer night or morning shoot scenes?
Oh, so I'm a bit of a psychopath. You could wake me up in the middle of the night and I'd be like, action. Really, like, I live and I breathe for this.
Okay.
I bleed for this. I love it so much. But I knew I was working with a nocturnal animal. So and so I'll tell you why we did night shoots.
Yeah.
The sun doesn't rise on Lupita and Rian for a long time.
Oh.
Is that a clue for us?
Yeah. Wait until the third film.
Boy, we got a lot going for us.
What was it? I said this to Angela when I made that call. I said, "What are you doing for the next 12 years?"
Yeah.
I love that.
And I was like, 12 years. I was like, yeah, we're going to need 12 years.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So
pretty long. It's pretty long.
And the sun doesn't rise on you guys until like possibly the third series. Okay, I love that. So what's the most iconic location where you guys were shot at?
For me, was the club.
Okay.
I really enjoyed shooting at the club.
Yeah.
Especially because there's something that he noticed about me at the club. So when Lupita is at home in her, I don't know if I can say this because I feel like I want people to see the difference themselves, but I'll just say it anyway. So when Lupita is at home and she's alone and she's in a comfort zone, her walk is much lighter.
Okay.
But when she's in work mode, like her walk is
it's
heavier, or how did you say?
Yeah. There's a gravitas to her.
Yes, when she's in work mode. So there's a switch in the way that she walks.
Yeah.
And he asked if it was intentional. To be honest, it wasn't intentional. So as an actor, there are choices that I make for my character or the character that I'm going to play.
Yeah.
But as I start shooting, there's other things that just happen naturally that I'm not even aware of, that he will maybe point out and say, "Oh, I noticed you did this and that." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't."
Yeah.
Because I'm in it, you know?
Yeah.
So I think shooting at the club was my favorite location.
Okay, we're definitely going to look out for that. I mean, you already described how the scene was, how it was painted with people just there, literally, and you guys had to. So I'm looking forward to this.
Imagine you after work, you are at the club, just having a Savannah, Savannah Drive. There is Angela walking past you in character.
Did anyone ask for a signature or anything?
Did they?
There was one take. So
I don't
here's the crazy
Okay.
thing, because Angela's so unrecognizable as Lupita. We were able to do 2 takes and everybody was just like, "Oh my goodness, is EWN here?" She was checking people out, seeing if they're carrying, assessing whether or not somebody's got. I just
real.
Yeah, she was there. She was in it.
She was in the
back
room.
from their call center job, going to go and just blow off some heat and then blow off some steam, and then there's Angela looking at me, checking to see if I've got any weapons on. I was like, "What is going on?" I see the camera, I see the lights. What's happening?
Yeah.
And the stroke was menacing, man. Like people parted ways. They were like, "What is going on?"
And it worked for me. It worked for me.
Yeah.
And remember, they didn't see the camera. They saw her first.
Okay.
And then the camera came after, because also there was a methodology of how we shot Lupita. And also coming to sort of the spectrum that Angela created, it was very important for her to ensure that as, sort of this character, that she's 3-dimensional. So she has a softness, she has a hardness, she expresses both, sort of strength, but also at the same time, she has such a beautiful humanity to her.
Yeah.
But when she's at work, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the point being is, it's just like, there was this one take where it was so funny because we were going up the stairs and these 2 ladies came downstairs and they looked at her and they went, "Angela Sithole." The funniest part about that, Lupita just turned around on them and walked back to one and was like, "Let's go again." And I was like, I'm sorry.
I think they kind of...
Yeah, because she needed to be in.
Of course,
she has a process and I respect it.
Yeah.
Angela is the best when she's at her most relaxed and when there's silence. And it's because she is creating something holy in that sense. And I've seen it. I've seen her work in that way. And it's up to me to create that environment for her. And that's really all that I do. I create that environment that she needs to flourish. And, I'm going to cheat and answer your question about the iconic location.
Yes.
It was every location.
I was expecting you to say that.
It was every location.
He was just happy to be there.
That's how I start the day. I'd be like, "My name is Waleed, and I'm just happy to be here." They would just be like, "Just shut up, Bishop. Just do your job." One time, after I forgot to record at the club, that was the one take I forgot to record, but that was on Richard's take. So one time I forgot to record in the club because, a dude came up to us, and I've been there. you're seeing a film crew working, and he came up to us and he was like, dude, I really want to get into film. What do I have to do?
Yeah.
And I rolled on the camera while I was talking to him. So when we had to go for the take, I hit record again.
But
And
you were,
obviously I stopped.
of course.
And Richard was so angry with me. He was like, that was my best take. I was like, the best take was one that I got.
Okay.
But that being said, like, I love those moments.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like this weird time machine where I knew what that guy was feeling like. And we stopped what we were doing because we love what we do and we want to share and evangelize this to everybody. And I put him in the scene.
Oh, is
with
it?
Richard. In actual fact, I was like, you want to get into film? He's like, yeah. I was like, you want to be in a film? And he was like, what? I'm going to call you in 5 minutes. You're going to play the doorman. You know, I want you to take Richard's jacket and whatever.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And I always love doing things like that.
That's amazing.
Like Angela said, we always try to prepare as much as we can so we can keep it kind of loosey-goosey on set. And look, I'm going to reiterate the words you said. I was really just happy to be there. I really was happy to be there. She saw me. I've sent her clips where I'm literally giggling like a girl with pigtails. Like where, you know, she's doing a fight rehearsal and I'm so giddy.
Yeah.
I'm not happy.
I mean, look, all I've heard about you is really good things. And the fact that you sound like you have so much passion for this. Every podcast, every interview I've listened about you, man, I can understand why you go into the film, and I can expect the film to come out really amazing. Just because of what I've heard. I've heard you swear quite a lot on some of the podcasts, but it came from a place of you.
Sorry.
I understood the conversation, what you were talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really love that, and I'm looking forward to the film. The scenes that you were describing to me.
Yeah.
I mean, as somebody that's behind the camera too, I love just working with the camera. When I see lights, when I see people, I'm just like, let's keep doing this thing, because I feel like, in fact, even when I'm taking photos, I'm like, one more, and I'm always lying. I'm like, I'm still got like 5 more, because I'm always like, no, I can actually do better.
Yeah.
Wait, what if I move like this? So I love the passion.
Can I ask you something?
Sure, yeah.
Isn't it funny that the camera it's a conduit for you to witness people and witness them actualize? Isn't it that? It's not like you're creating anything. You're witnessing something, and it's almost like when you're looking through that camera, you're witnessing something like sacrosanct, something divine happen. And you know, there was one time where our location fell apart. We were ready to go. It was the rooftop sequence, and I just gone to the location 2 hours earlier to confirm everything, and they said everything's good. And I arrived there before everybody, and they had locked the doors on the location. And I called the people, and they were like, sorry, like something didn't happen, whatever the case is, whatever it was. And I remember sitting on that cold floor with my head in my hands. And Melissa was there, and she was trying to cheer me up. And I was just like, because I felt so responsible for my cast.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they were all sending messages of support, and I was feeling horrible. And I remember Richard still came, and he picked me up off the floor and he gave me a big hug, and he was like, it's going to be okay.
Oh, yes.
And then we obviously said to everybody, look, don't come through, we're not shooting tonight. And then to cheer me up, Melissa and Richard said, let's take you for a pizza. And the entire time I sat there kind of like grumpy, right? Like, you know, because I didn't get to play.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play that day.
Yeah.
But more so because they said to me, like, we're going to get to do it again. I said, you guys don't get it. The way that I feel when I'm watching Angela and Richard through this camera is that I'm watching something ethereal, something you can't put your finger on. It's almost as if the camera takes away a veil.
Yeah.
And you're getting to see the people as they truly are. And that for me is such a beautiful experience, man. And I'm pretty sure you feel the same way. And you're doing the Lord's work, man. Your pictures.
Definitely.
Oh, like amazing.
I mean, I haven't thought of it that deep that you're talking about. Now that you're doing it, I'm like, wow. Actually, I got to look at my work more differently. And I see what you're saying. I mean, having that camera on and somebody capable in front of the camera, or somebody in front of the camera doing something, they could be doing anything, being themselves. Oof, man, you're watching magic literally happen.
Yeah.
And it's always amazing.
And you're capturing that second for eternity. That click that you're doing when you take photos that moment will never happen again.
Oof, that's so true, right?
It's crazy when you think about it like that.
Yeah, it's a time capsule.
Waleed is so deep. You know?
He is, right?
Look who's talking.
No, he is.
Look
He is.
who's
And the
talking.
thing is, he makes you realize a lot of things from just like a 5-minute conversation. I find myself like, yo, and I didn't see it that way.
That's how I felt when I was listening to the podcasts, some of the interviews we were on. And I know this podcast is obviously like maybe limited to a discussion like this, but I feel like a part 2 at some point. I would love to interview you guys at some point, especially yourself, just even on the side, because I feel like you have so much to say.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're letting you out in the wild just yet. I'm still in awe of the fact that I'm sitting to 2 people that have produced a series and plenty other series, but the one that we're talking about right now, when is it coming out, by the way?
So it's coming out the 27th of June, and I'm glad that you said that you 2 people have produced, because it was very important that Angela produced this. And when I first discussed it with her, I said, how do you feel about coming on as a producer? And she was like, it's about goddamn time.
I love that. So you were wearing many hats also on the set.
Yeah.
Yes.
That must have been interesting. I mean, have you always done directing before?
No, I haven't. I haven't directed before. I do direct actually other things, my own, from my business that I run.
Yeah.
So it's something that I've always wanted to get into eventually. And yeah, like I think with this journey that I'm on with Waleed, you know, I'm gonna pick up a lot of hats.
I love that. With Richard, how did you actually get him onto the film? I know you said you saw him on a different set before, and then you said you wanted him to come onto your set.
So I mean, look, Richard and I have been talking, like with Angela, we've been talking about these characters for 6 years now, actually. Yeah, so when we were prepping The Last Days of Hope, that was 6 years. And I had dreamed up these 2 characters, Lupita and Rian, previously when I was even working in like agency and corporate. I started off as an editor, then I quickly became a director, and then I started to write. And my writing wasn't the greatest. And I just kept at it. Like every moment I got, I would like freehand write. And I'd record myself going to and from clients. That's how I would do my scripts. And I would just try and get that right. And I really had a lot of great contemporaries at the time that were phenomenal writers. And I always tried to see how I could learn from them, And I remember even when I was doing my first short masterpiece, I was trying to write in the style of one of my contemporaries at the time, Waleed Al-Yamani, who I felt was a phenomenal writer. And the point being was that I'd written these characters years before I'd seen or even met Richard and Angela. And I knew what their archetypes were.
Yeah.
So when I wrote Rian, I think Drive had just come out with Ryan Gosling. Okay. And I was like a Ryan Gosling type.
Yeah.
And I remember for Lupita, I was watching 2006 Miami Vice, right? And I saw Colin Farrell and Gong Li. Remember they have that like romance and they do that amazing dance in Cuba. And I was like, oh, interesting. What if you did Miami Vice, but you made Colin Farrell and Gong Li the 2 detectives? And you saw that in the references that I sent to you. And I was like, and that was my archetype for Lupita, but Lupita, I think, was such a spectrum, a menagerie. It really would take, and forgive me for saying this, but like a gorilla of an actor.
Yeah.
When I say gorilla of the actor, I mean like a Tom Hardy-esque character, but like in female form. Yeah. And I always said that to my wife, and she was just like, and that's when she suggested Angela. She said, take a meeting with Angela and you'll see what I'm talking about, because the 2 of them were friends. They'd grown up together. And I was like, cool. And I took a meeting, and in that meeting, I turned to my wife and I was like, you're absolutely right. And it got confirmed when we did that fight rehearsal. Because my wife came over my shoulder and she leaned in my ear. She went, Tom Hardy, right? I was like, oh yeah. Because that's the type of caliber that actor that Angela is. She is an actor that is intimidating the way that you hear that Tom Hardy is. Yeah. But she's just as approachable as he is. She's just as kind as he is. But she's also at the same time, she's also just as assuming as you hear he is. But she's also just as dedicated to the craft. And she loves it. Dare I say, as much as me, because like when she's working, she'll ask for another one every single time.
Like, let's keep going.
She'll get it perfect, and then she'll be like, no, and I'll be like, okay, Angela, let's do it. From the top, Waleed. Who's directing this?
But sometimes I also feel like it's also the self-doubt that would take play there. Like I would doubt myself and I'd feel like, I know I can do better. Yeah. Sometimes it's okay to just let it be and just know that I've given my best and that's what it is.
Done as many takes as whatever you needed to do. You've left it all on the table.
Exactly.
And this was also what was the importance of casting both Richard and Angela in these roles, is because both of them learned something from one another. And, they've got a special thing between them, which we will get into at a later stage when I think you have Richard and her on. I think that's a great podcast.
Yeah. And I think you guys will also be able to see that on screen. Like the chemistry between Lupita and I call him rye bread.
You call him rye bread?
Yeah, he calls it pizza bread. And
he calls it pizza bread.
Hey, everybody just call you guys that.
No. It's Angela to you, okay?
No, it's the pizza bread. I don't know what
I don't dare call it pizza bread. That's a special thing between the two.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And they've really got like this this great little thing that they do when either one of them are feeling a certain way before they have to go into a scene. Which is something that we worked on together, which was just to kind of ground both of them, because what Richard needed to learn from Angela was that he needed to know that he had enough power to support a beast of an actor like she is. And she needed to learn that she could also let go and let loose. And find the rooting in that there's somebody who's looking out for her in every one of these scenes, and even in the scenes that he wasn't in. I go back to that rooftop scene. You're doing that scene with Chan Li, and Angela was being very hard on herself, but she was being so great, and she was working with really like a first-time actress who'd only done a one film before, and she was being so kind, and all of these things that Angela is, and I could see she was getting into her head, and it was Richard who went downstairs with her. They did the little handhold that's exclusive to them. And it was him that, just gave her the comfort. And similarly, I go back to this great scene that we did at a Turkish restaurant called Locum out in Norwood. Amazing place. The owners just gave us the whole place to shoot in for the whole day. It was so great. And, they gave us great food as well. Turkish food is so good. But what is great about that is that, like when Angela mentioned patience, because I think there was an adjustment that, they both had to make with one another because they were feeling each other out. And you've really got like two people who are these like I said, like apex predators, and they're circling one another. Like, are we friends? Are we friends? Are we a competition? Or what's happening? I sat them both down on a bench. We've got this in a documentary that we did. We documented this whole series. And I sat them down on the bench and I just said to Richard, like, hey man, don't keep her at arm's length. I know you as a beautiful soul. Let Angela in and you're going to see something happen. And they sat on that bench, and can I say this? It's going to sound weird, but I saw two actors fall in love with one another. Not like romantic love, but two actors recognize each other and see one another. Because then we went into the scene, and the way they just look at each other in that scene, I'm just like, so beautiful, man.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
I mean, chemistry is, from a viewer's point of view, is so important. Sometimes you can pick it up.
It's very, very important because, when you're sitting and you're watching a scene, and it can even be a relationship between friends, or it can be between lovers, but when you're watching a scene and you can see that you don't feel the chemistry, then no, it puts me off. I've worked on certain projects where it was tough, like trying to create the chemistry with the other actor wasn't as easy, but we had to make it work. But I'd have people tell me like, I don't see the connection. It's like, hey, but we tried. We tried. You really have to try and create that chemistry just so that things run smoothly and it looks like, there's this chemistry between you. There's a connection, that is something.
For sure. And I think And I think that from a viewer's again point of view, you could like there's a thin line between these two. People always say to start gossiping, but I love the fact that there's a relationship. You know that you guys sat down and you said, you know what, we're both good at what we do.
Yeah.
Let's lock in and actually do this thing. What would you like viewers or anybody that's gonna watch the series to take away from this? And I don't know if I've asked this question, but what
you asked specifically about my character.
Yes, the character. What would you like them just to take away from the film and watching the film in general?
I will say for South Africans, that we are more than capable. Like we really have it. We have it. We have the talent. We have the talent. Like we have the talent. Yes. You know, we really do. We have it in us. There's so many stories that we can tell. Like there's a lot that we have.
Yeah.
And I hope that this opens the eyes of other, people who want to get into film and who've been scared to do it. I think this also for me has also taught me a lot about just getting up and doing it and just not waiting for tomorrow. And that's what I've learned from this. I hope people learn that
I hope they get the same thing. This ties back to the question I want to ask you, Waleed. Is this an independent film?
Yeah. So we self-funded it ourselves. So I'll tell you how it came about.
That's the crazy part about it. That is the crazy, I'm sorry, but that is the crazy part about it, because when people watched the teaser, they were like, oh my God, when are you guys shoot this in America? I said, why? Why are you telling us about it? No hate though, but like, why are you telling us? We shot it here. Mzansi, South Africa.
I mean, the trailer does not look like Mzansi. I don't see
I like that.
Mzansi.
I know, I like that.
But you can see obviously that, there's, I mean, obviously I know you guys are in it, so I'm like, okay, there must have been, some of it must have been shot in Johannesburg.
Yeah, so I mean, look, I think that I have a deep love for Johannesburg. I remember when I came here from Cape Town, I was very young, and I remember I came here with my aunt. My mom was already here, and I looked out the plane window and I saw all these lights. And my aunt, ever the storyteller, said to me, "That's why they call it the City of Gold." Because you've got those amber lights that come in, and I was just like, as like a young sort of like 6-year-old, I was just like, oh, what? And I always wanted to tell a story where Joburg was very much part of the sort of character. And look, for the first season, we're planning to shoot it down in Durban. I know that might be news to you.
Yeah, I didn't know. Okay.
Don't worry, we'll get you a penthouse. You know what I'm saying? You're Angela Sithole. And it's because I really want to show off what all of these places look like through my eyes. We have such beautiful locations.
Amazing.
All throughout Africa, South Africa. We were just talking about Africa. I mean, she just came back from Kenya and Rwanda, and Angela's a global citizen of the world. Watch out, Angelina Jolie. Someone's coming for you. But the thing for me is that, again, this was about creating a character out of these localities, and also just showing that we have these global, standards. And all it takes is a little bit of care. And like, we had a community that rallied around us hugely. I mean, we couldn't have done it. I mean, we really went out there. We told people what we were doing, and a lot of people just said to us, listen, you can have the location for free. You can do this, and it was really from like name dropping Angela Sithole, Richard Gar. Like, they were like, cool. And I told them part of the story, and they were like, sounds great, like have the space or whatever. So really, like, all the people that we worked with, even some of the sort of brands that came on board, like Toyota and like Alpha Industries, and like Soviet, who really I struggled to find Lupita shoes. I mean, we went back and forth on that quite a bit, and they were the ones that were like, try these Raptors. They came on board and they were like, we really believe in this story. And we called everybody that worked in this believers. Believers. Maybe that too. Maybe he'll be in the soundtrack. And it was really about, sort of committing to this. And if I can just touch on your question that you asked, Angela, what I want people to take away from this is that Rian and Lupita, Angela and Richard, are really the bastions of hope that we need right now, both within the world of cinema and within the industry of movie making. We're going through a very tough time right now with the people who actually physically make the films. There are people out there that are struggling. There are people out there that are starving, and there are some of the greatest talents out there, and what I want them to feel at the end of the day, that there is hope. And these two leads are leading the charge and carrying that sort of flame, that flicker of hope forward. And I can tell you this much, where they're going is to light the beacon. They're going to light this beacon that's going to lead the way. And I can tell you, like I said to Angela, give me 12 years and I'll give you the world that you deserve. After those 12 years, I can tell you this much. The landscape of cinema and even our societies that will inherit from it, because there's nothing that alleviates an economy more than a film industry. Ask the Mexicans, ask the Koreans, ask all of those people. It is the one industry that benefits from a depreciating currency. And it is the one industry that saved people's lives during the lockdown for people consuming on a daily basis in order to make sure that they don't land up in psychiatric wards or essentially, go crazy from the loneliness. It was stories, and there's an importance to this. These are, I think that there's an unfair metric out there that people are calling actors adult pretenders. They're not that. Actors are some of the most beautiful creatures on planet Earth. Do you know why? They wake up vulnerable every single day. It is not for us as directors or writers to ask them to be vulnerable. They inhabit that brave space, that unsafe space that no one wants to go from the time they wake up in the morning to the time they go to sleep at night. And they are so courageous that they inspire us, whether it's in a 2-hour or 3-hour film or an episode, to make us want to deal with our own pain, our own experiences, to pick up the phone, call our mom, call our brothers, call our sisters, call our friend that we haven't spoken to in 3 years because of something we saw. They allow us to have a catharsis that's like a dream. Have you ever had a dream that changed you?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Sure.
But you get to do it with your eyes open. And we don't get to do it without actors, without crew members, without focus pullers, without grips, without all of these people who are the lifeblood of our industry. And I'm telling you now, give us those 12 years. And I will gift this saga and this universe back to the people with these characters, where I think that we haven't talked about this. Angela owns Lupita. I don't own it.
Sure.
Richard owns Red.
Yeah.
I don't own it. That's her IP.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When they make figurines about her,
Yeah.
they have little girls running around as Comic-Con being Lupita. This is all going to be to her. If you take any of our social issues that we have in South Africa and you look at any of our impoverished townships that we have, do you know how much talent is in all of those places? Unchecked talents. Gabriel Maté, who did The Wisdom of Trauma, right? He's a Holocaust survivor. He spent 12 years sitting with people who are addled by addictions. How many people do you think, in terms of percentage, were artists?
Is this now?
Yeah, in terms of the crack den that he spent 12 years just doing interviews with. It was 80%.
80% of the people?
80%. There's a reason why you're seeing a substance abuse problem in these areas where you look at Alexandria, Soweto, Khayelitsha, all across the country. It's not because of an education problem. It's not because, you can talk about service delivery and all these things, but there are creative ways to solve that. And there are people within those communities that solve that creatively. It's really from an unexpressed creative spirit. That's where it stems from. There are singers, songwriters, actors, directors, writers, all of these things. They just lack the opportunities to express themselves. And when the artistic spirit can't express themselves, it either becomes criminal or it becomes destructive. And this is where you're seeing this happen. So you create...
So was I going to be a criminal?
I was. You knew it was running out there shooting guns out the window. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put a gun in your hand.
Yeah, just...
I'll hold up... And I was like, hold up a camera and play a detective.
Yeah.
But what it comes down to really is that you create the opportunities, you create those things. and you will see a nation transform itself.
I have to agree on that. Looking back at lockdown, and just as an example of lockdown, I started a photo challenge, which was amazing. It kept me creative and going, and I thank that so much because it kept me creative. And I'm just wondering in my head what things I would have done if I actually wasn't creative enough or wasn't, playing around with creativity. So I love what you said, that, it's just an untapped talent. There's so many people on there. This is an off question, but are you looking for more people to join as maybe extras, maybe people who have got talent and they don't know what to do with it?
Is this your audition tape? Okay, cool.
Thank you, got it.
I don't do auditions.
Yeah.
But I like your vibe.
I love that.
I'll find a place for you.
You got the job.
You got
I like him.
Do you want to kill him in a scene?
Don't kill me. Don't you take him.
Let's keep it. Yeah.
Don't kill me, please.
Cool.
Just wrapping it up. I know that obviously we're just rushing a little bit, but I want to just ask one question, but for you guys, what inspires you in general? I mean, you do so many things, you're all over the world, you're all over our screens, you're doing amazing things, you're fighting people, you got guns in your hand. What inspires you in general? Like just to wake up and do what you do?
What inspires me?
Yeah.
There's a lot, but the little girl in me, I think also kind of pushes me as well to want more for myself, I guess, A lot of things inspire me.
Yeah.
Inspired by a lot of things.
I love that. I mean, look, it probably is, I'm putting you on the spot right now, but I love that. I mean, we all have some sort of inspiration to some degree, or something that just clicks to us, like, I'm getting up right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to record this thing. What is it for you that just says, let's go?
Working with fucking amazing actors.
Yeah.
I feel like I knew you was going to say that.
People working with good actors or just actors that are passionate about what they do?
There's a huge chasm between good and amazing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Angela knows that she's transcendent, so.
I love that. I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure having you guys on this podcast. I can't wait to actually watch the series.
I wait to see you on set.
Yes. And please
We're hiring him. He's booked. He's got the gig.
At the premiere, am I allowed to come?
Absolutely. No, you're about
100%.
You're about
Come on.
Yeah.
Guys, we're gonna broadcast this at the premiere.
You have to.
But please go out onto social media platforms, check out Martyrs. I might not be saying it right, but please, Martyrs. Yes, Martyrs. Please go check it out, guys. Absolutely amazing. The people I've got here, I feel like they've given us quite a lot, and I feel like you also can watch a little bit more. So check them out on Instagram. Where else can they check Martyrs out?
Well, I think very importantly, go and check out Angela Sithole.
Yes.
She's on all the social platforms doing very cool things.
And is it Angela Sithole everywhere?
It's just Angela Sithole everywhere.
Okay, perfect.
And you can check out Martyrs at Martyrs Series on Instagram. We are spreading to some other space, but Instagram is the place to go, at Martyrs Series. Check out all the cool stuff.
I also have it tagged on my few of my images, posts on my Instagram as well. Yeah.
Love that. Can't wait to see the show. Everybody, check you out next time. Peace.
Peace, chummies.